Hello everybody, Janet Urban here, founder of Friends in Film. Welcome to our podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to give you insights that you will not learn anywhere, not in film school, not online, not from anybody, even people on film sets will not know what I'm teaching you because we have studied how to go very fast into the film industry and create a career out of it. And that is what this podcast is about, and that is what the A-List program is about, which is our main flagship program that all these people all over the world are doing to work in the film industry. So enjoy today's podcast, and thank you so much for listening. Today's podcast is for film school students, film school grads, people with MFAs that want to work in the film industry. And you would love to work in the business right now, like tomorrow, if you didn't have to start at the bottom. You don't want to start in a production assistant job because you view yourself, and you have to view yourself as a director, as a writer, as a DP. That has become your identity. And you need that to be your identity for your own success, for your own respect for yourself. I totally get it. And it's like the ideas and the visions, it all flows from that identity that you are. And I want you to be proud of that identity and own that identity. That's going to make you successful. How is that going to get you directing on a TV show? Because you become like the people that you are surrounding yourself with. I know you've heard. You are an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's true. So that's because you're all together and thinking with the same wavelength, the same kind of thoughts. And it all seems real and it all seems true to you. And what's possible is all within everybody's experience. The experience that you have today, the experience of shooting passion projects and being in classes and being around other people that have amazing ideas and are quite gifted and quite skilled, and you yourself are quite gifted and quite skilled, but not making money in the professional film industry. That experience is your world, and that experience is keeping you stuck. That passion, and then you're doing it with your passion projects, that is keeping you stuck because years are passing and you're staying with the same people that are not working in the business, continuing to shoot the passion projects and submit them to film festivals with no idea how it's going to get you anywhere. You have zero connections on feature films sets. The work that you aspire to do and the impact that you aspire to make, you have zero connections where you're working on a day-to-day basis with those people. You have zero connections in the scripted TV world with people that you should know and be joking with and having lunch with every single day. You are not getting up and going to Shondaland film sets, learning and working and being exposed to all of the techniques that are professional. You're working on a shoestring with limited budget stuff and working your tail off with very little money with what you have, and you're getting good at that instead of getting good at what will actually make you a career. When you are making a career, we're not doing stuff on a shoestring. That has no value. Doing stuff very cheaply is not. And I know that you think that the result is really great, but that's not even on our radar as a professional. We need to do it right. Every single second matters. Every single light, every single reflection, every single sound, every single everything is perfectly created because it's professional. And don't poo-poo it because this is what you actually aspire to do. That's how you have a career and get paid for it, to get paid as a director and DP. So I find sometimes people are like saying, oh, but I can shoot it on a shoestring, and like they don't need to be spending all that money. And it's crazy that they spend for a 15-second spot that they're spending $100,000 a day or $500,000 a day. And a lot of my shoots, the one I just finished yesterday, is around $500,000 per day. And it was a 7-day shoot. And I made $3,500 per day, by the way, as a professional, providing something very valuable to that film set. You want the budgets to be high because that's how they pay you. Don't you want to get paid $1,000 a day or more? I'm sure you do. So you want to be able to get to that level, that professional level. So what's keeping you from those professional projects is you are not becoming a professional. You are not acting like a professional. You do not know the people that are all professional. You're not in that world. You're keeping yourself in the passion project world around people that are passionate and are constantly dreaming up new ideas and new and great things to shoot and little stories to tell. I'm inspired by that. But I want you to do it when you're also in the professional world, building connections and meeting people and really starting your career. So this is what's been missing. What's been missing is you're spending all of your time in the amateur world that feels like it's leading you somewhere. All those film sets, they're all hiring each other. Like everybody who's relevant to the film industry is on these film sets. If you're not on these film sets, you are irrelevant. The passion projects, the thesis projects that you're working on right now, the passion projects that you're doing right now, you're going to submit them to film festivals, and then you're going to hope that somebody from the professional world sees it and invites you in to do what? They're going to invite you in for what job? To direct a big feature film? To DP a TV show, a scripted TV show? To write on a TV show when they don't know you? So this is the problem. Film schools just take you so far. They're like, shoot a great project. Okay, what's going to happen with it? Will anybody care? If you show it to a professional, will they go like, oh my gosh, you should direct our next thing? Are you counting on like winning at Cannes, Sundance? That's where you got to be competing at that level. But who is winning at Cannes and Sundance? It's professionals. And so all of the passion projects that most film school students are doing is competing in all these little indie film festivals. Okay, that's fine. That's great. Do it. The problem is that time is passing. And you can spend years making your own films and submitting them to the film festivals. And if the goal is to somehow become professional with those, it's not going to happen. First of all, that is not how it works. And nobody told you that. And film schools won't tell you that. Because then why would you go to film school? You'd simply work on sets and work into directing and producing. You'd become a director by doing it so much and being on these film sets all the time. And then you wouldn't need film school, which is exactly the case. You don't need film school. Is the experience that you want to work on passion projects, or is the experience that you want is to actually work on a film set? Because I can tell you that the experience of shooting passion projects is fun, but you've got to make money, and that's going to be like a 9-to-5 or retail or some kind of job. So that's the experience of your life, always trying, always developing new ideas, a lot of fun friends that are all wanting to work in the film industry, but don't even really dare to talk about working for Shondaland, because who knows how that's ever going to happen. That's your experience. And it is nothing like living the film lifestyle where you get up every day and you work on a film set and you've got thousands of people calling you for work and you're not reaching out to anybody. They're calling you because they know you're good and you've worked with them before. This life of working on film sets is amazing. That life is worth starting. So I think what keeps people from starting that life is they think that it's so hard to get. It's such a mystery to get on these big film sets. How do you do it? And when no answers come up, they just like, well, I got to keep working on my passion projects. And somehow, hopefully somebody discovers me. But it's never going to work. It doesn't work like that. So where do you need to be? You need to be where they are. They're not watching outside the business. They're not. They're all watching inside the business. What keeps film school students outside the business is thinking that, oh no, I don't want to start as a production assistant. I don't want to get people coffee. I don't want to do that job. Yet, you're very confident that your ideas are good and that you can move very quickly if given the opportunity. But what do you think that is? That's an opportunity. Working as a production assistant on a professional film shoot is an opportunity. So if you're confident in yourself, then take that job and fly. Because it's not about the job. Who cares the job? Who cares what job you start in? If you have confidence that your ideas and that you're good, then what do you care what job you start in? you know that you're going to accelerate very quickly in the film industry because you're good and you have ideas and you're good with people and you want to build this and this is your passion and you are like a kid in the candy store on these professional film sets. You got to make the jump. Okay. So don't worry about the job. It doesn't matter the job. What matters is the connections. What matters is the learning, because learning is winning. And you have a lot to learn, even though you don't realize it right now, because your world has been very small. It's been film school and it's been other people that are not in the business. There's a whole massive world. Commercials are different than feature films. It's just different than scripted TV, which is different than reality TV, and all of the cameras and all of the equipment and all of the processes and all of the money, all of the negotiations, all of that life, all of the travel. It's all so different in the professional film industry. That life is amazing. That life is worth it. I would not spend another day in the passion projects world thinking that you're getting somewhere. Okay, so now you're familiar with working with a team of people and becoming great friends with people that you're all making these projects, right? And you love that and it's familiar to you. Okay. The same kind of thing happens on film sets. So think of working on these film sets as your bread and butter, like working on a Shondaland TV shows where you get like all of your knowledge and your learning and your connections and your experience and solving of the problems that happen on set, scene to scene to scene, just learning, expanding so much. And while you're working on these big shoots, you're also finding all the best people that you will collaborate with and make your projects. And you might be like, oh, I can do that when I'm working on big film sets? Yes, of course. That's what everybody's doing on these big film sets as well. You just didn't realize it because you're not in this environment. You have to get into this environment of the professional film industry. So when you are on these big film sets and you're getting paid and you're doing a job and it doesn't matter the job, you're going to be vectoring towards camera, vectoring towards writing, vectoring towards being a director assistant so that you can start making tight relationships with producers and directors by working alongside them, helping them with their career. Now they care about your career. You've got to get there. And that is when your passion truly becomes realized. When you have gotten off that escalator that never arrives, and now you're just every single day learning and growing and meeting people, now you're taking off. That's when you know, I got this. I'm going to keep working and expanding my connections and the money that I'm making. And now I'm actually learning skills that are going to pay me for the rest of my life. Right now, you don't know your shit, even though you think you do. You don't, but you can, and you can learn it so fast. So right now, you're not relevant to the producer and the director and the DP because you don't know your shit. But once you get on these sets and you start learning all of these departments and learning how it all works and actually acting like a professional, being there, being a professional, getting paid as a professional, now you can be useful to these people. You are not useful when you're outside the business. You don't know enough, but you think you do. But once you're inside, now you see how much there is to learn, and you start learning it, and then you're actually able to be very useful to these people. And these are exactly the people that you're going to do the work of your life with. It's not the people that you're with right now outside the business. It's going to be all these people that you meet once you get inside. If you're making zero money in the film industry, you're stuck. And if you have zero connections or less than 5 connections in the film industry, you're stuck. You should have hundreds of connections. If you are chasing people and asking people to hire you for work and looking for jobs and looking on Staff Me Up, you are stuck. You need to move to where you've got people checking your availability every single day. I've got another shoot. Hey, are you available? I got a pilot. I got a commercial. I got a TV show. Are you available? Are you available? They're asking you. You're not chasing people. You're not chasing work. They're looking for you. You have to get to this place. You are not familiar with this place right now. You're familiar with chasing and trying to build something and taking an idea and trying to develop it, but having no idea where it's going to help, where it's going to go, and who's even interested in it. You do that on film sets, taking ideas and discussing it with other professionals. Okay, now you got the legs to make something. The only thing that's been stopping you is you don't know how to get the ball rolling in the film industry. That's a big mystery to you. If you knew how to do that, you would have already done it. And time has been passing. Years have passed where you're doing the same stuff, and you're not going to learn how to do anything differently because it's not within your realm of what you know. You've done everything that you can so far, and you keep staying in the same cycle. So it's time to start a new cycle. I will guide you on this cycle. I've got a program. It's $5,000 right now. It's going to go to $10,000 very soon. It's called Craft Certification. If you think that's a lot of money, let me ask you, how much do you want to make in the film industry as a DP? How much do you think that you can make as a DP, as a director? $100,000? Does that seem doable? Is that like the goal? Well, if that's the case, then what are you worried about $5,000? What are you worried about $10,000? What are you worried about $20,000? When you're making $100,000 a year for every year, what are you worrying about? $10,000. What you need to be worrying about is that $100,000 that you spent on film school that's done a big zero for you in return. It's made you no money and no connections and no Shondaland experience. Instead, it's making you passion projects and spending money and buying gear and spinning in the same cycle and not knowing what to do. And you invested $100,000, and those people did not tell you what to do. Those people did not give you the result of you making $100,000 in the film industry. So I would not worry about $5,000 or $10,000 or even $20,000. So I would not worry about investing in yourself further to get into the film industry now and do it right. I would jump on that racehorse and get going. If you have confidence that you can make $100,000 a year as a director or a DP, then you would have confidence that you can do a program that you invest $5,000 in, a fraction of film school, and get the F going. So if you have confidence that you're going to make $100,000, then you have confidence that you can take $5,000 and turn it into $100,000. And that's just the first year. Then another $100,000 the next year, and $100,000 the next year, and the next year. Because what I teach you is how to become successful in the professional film industry, where it really counts. It doesn't count in the passion projects. In film school, the fake environment, that doesn't count. What counts is what you do after that. And that's where I come into play. I take you and make you successful after that. But you're the one that's actually making yourself successful. I'm just showing you the way because the film industry is a big mystery. It's a big code that you haven't been able to crack yet. But I've been in it for 25 years, and this is what I do. This is what I have been doing for 15 years, so I know how to do it. I know how to get you where you want to be. All right? So if you want to do that, I welcome you to come and join us. If you want to come get into the professional film industry and not mess around anymore, I invite you to come into the professional film industry, do it the way that I lay out for you step by step, and let's get going. Okay? Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. And if you want to take your career to the next level in the film industry, go to friendsinfilm.com/join. That's friendsinfilm.com/join. You can sign up for our mini course, learn about the A-list model, and then you can take it all the way and do the A-list program. So that's friendsinfilm.com/join. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, everybody.